What if the most intelligent civilization on Earth isn't human at all? When we think of intelligence, we imagine apes shaping tools, dolphins weaving through oceans with language, or machines calculating faster than we can comprehend. Rarely do we think of insects, tiny, fragile, crawling things we crush beneath our shoes. And yet, insects outnumber us. They outlast us. They surround us in every field, every forest, every home. What if their minds are deeper than we imagine? What if they are not simply surviving, but watching? Could insect societies rival human civilizations? We live in cities of glass and steel, proud of our architecture. But ants build underground metropolises, stretching for miles, housing millions, connected with tunnels so intricate they rival our subways. Termites raise cathedral-like towers that regulate airflow, temperature, and moisture, natural skyscrapers with built-in air conditioning. Bees navigate by the stars, chart maps in their minds, and share directions through dance, a symbolic language as ancient as writing. Are these not civilizations? Organized, complex, ancient, existing tens of millions of years before humans ever walked the earth. Perhaps we are not the first rulers of the planet. Perhaps we are only tenants in a world long governed by insects. Do insects possess a hidden intelligence? We measure intelligence by individuals. A chimpanzee solving a puzzle. A crow bending a wire into a hook. A child stacking blocks. But what if intelligence exists on another level, collective, distributed, shared? A single ant may seem simple, its choice is mechanical. But millions together can solve mazes, build bridges of their own bodies, and redirect rivers. Termite mounds are so perfectly ventilated that engineers study them to design eco-friendly buildings. Bees vote collectively, deciding where to move an entire hive with greater accuracy than most human committees. If intelligence does not live only in individuals, but in networks, then perhaps insect civilizations are already smarter than we dare admit. Are insects aware of us? We assume insects ignore us, moving only on instinct. Yet evidence suggests otherwise. Bees can recognize human faces with surprising accuracy, a skill once thought unique to primates. Ants alter their behavior when we interfere with their trails, reorganizing as though to avoid detection. Flies learn our movements, dodging swats with uncanny anticipation. If insects can observe, remember, and adapt, then they're not blind. They see us. They study us. And perhaps, in ways we do not yet understand, they understand us. Why do we feel uneasy when watched by insects? Have you ever entered a room and felt the still gaze of a spider in the corner? Or walked through grass and felt dozens of tiny eyes upon you? That prickling sensation at the back of your neck, the instinct to turn, to scan, to flee. We dismiss it as paranoia. But what if it is instinct? What if our ancestors evolved to sense when they were under insect surveillance, because those who didn't notice were punished? Perhaps our unease is not imagination. Perhaps it is recognition, that insects are aware of us, that their gaze is not empty, but alive. Could insects communicate beyond our perception? We know insects use pheromones, trails of scent that can map miles. We know they vibrate through air and soil, transmitting signals faster than words. We know their wings reflect ultraviolet colors invisible to our eyes, messages written in a spectrum we cannot see. But what if there is more? What if they share information in ways our instruments cannot detect? Could ants carry coded signals in chemical blends too complex for our machines? Could bees send vibrations into the earth itself, messages that travel further than any radio? Could swarms act as antennas, broadcasting awareness across vast distances? If so, then perhaps humanity is already under surveillance, every movement catalogued, every experiment observed, every decision noted by the tiny witnesses that surround us. Are insect swarms a higher form of intelligence? When locusts swarm, billions move as one, devouring everything in their path. To us, it looks like chaos. But what if it is not chaos? What if it is order, an intelligence so vast it can only be seen from above, a collective mind shaping destruction as a form of strategy? Birds flock, fish school. But insect swarms darken skies, alter ecosystems, change the course of human history. Armies have been starved into defeat by locusts. Nations have fallen under their shadow. What if every swarm is not merely hunger, but communication? A gathering of minds, a merging of awareness, an expression of intelligence beyond anything we comprehend. Perhaps what looks like destruction is not madness. It is design. Do insects experiment on us as we experiment on them? In our laboratories, we dissect insects, wire them, force them through mazes. We study their nervous systems, their instincts, their behaviors. But what if the reverse is also true? Do mosquitoes feed only for blood, or to test our defenses? Do cockroaches crawl into our homes only for food, or to observe us in our most vulnerable hours? Do ants invade kitchens only to map our habits, our weaknesses, our patterns? Perhaps every sting, every bite, every intrusion is not random, but research. A study we never agreed to. An experiment in which we are not the observers, but the subjects. Why have insects survived every mass extinction? Asteroids destroyed the dinosaurs. Ice ages reshaped the Earth. Entire ecosystems vanished overnight. Yet insects endured. Cockroaches outlived meteors. Ants inherited forests. Beetles diversified into millions of forms. When mammals were nearly erased, insects flourished. Was this survival merely luck? Or was it intelligence? The ability to adapt not only biologically, but strategically. If insects have endured every cataclysm, then perhaps survival is not their trait, it is their plan. They wait. They observe. And when the world ends, they inherit it. Again. And again. And again. Could insects one day rise against us? What if one day the watching ends, and the acting begins? Billions of ants, coordinated with perfect unity, could overwhelm cities in hours. Swarms of locusts could reduce entire nations to famine. Mosquitoes, vectors of disease, could shape the course of history without firing a shot. Would we even stand a chance? We are billions. They are trillions. Faster, hungrier, more resilient. Perhaps the real masters of Earth are not waiting to rise. Perhaps they have already risen, and we are too blind to see it. Are we part of the design? There is one last, haunting possibility. What if insects are not only watching us, but shaping us? Pollinating our crops, ensuring our survival. Spreading plagues, culling our numbers. Guiding evolution not by chance, but by choice. Perhaps humanity itself is a product of their influence, a branch grown only because they allowed it. If so, then our lives are not entirely our own. We are being observed. We are being guided. And maybe we always have been. And so the question remains, do insects simply crawl unnoticed around us, or are they watching? Perhaps the buzzing in your ear, the still gaze of a spider, the endless march of ants is not random. Perhaps every insect eye is part of a larger gaze, an ancient intelligence that has ruled Earth for hundreds of millions of years. And perhaps one day, when we finally understand, we will realize, we were never the dominant species. We were only being studied.